Hello and welcome to Hit the Bricks.
Everything that's interesting about Guthrie, Oklahoma.
I'm Chris Evans, this is just Fortney, and this is the award awaiting show. We're waiting for our first award to pop on the show.
Yes.
This might be it right here.
Any day now.
Any day now.
Yep.
Awesome guests, of course, we're here at the Dominion House here in Guthrie. Everybody knows about it, but we're going to talk about it and learn more about it. Of course, very generously speaking today with Trey Ayers and Julie Ayers.
Hey guys.
Hey. Hi, how are you?
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Okay, I grew up like a few blocks from here, and I always heard about the children's home, how great it was and all that good stuff. But when I was growing up, it was just an old abandoned place. I mean, we got in trouble for getting too close. Not that I would do that, but my friends were.
Were you a hoodlum?
No, my friends. My friends, but
I'm pretty sure I saw your name straight.
but
The other Chris was here.
yes,
And here.
not me.
here.
Yeah, not me. But the transition over the years has been awesome. You kind of just give us a little brief history how you guys came about coming here at the Dominion House.
This will be Trey's department.
They've done this like 85 times, so I apologize. Yeah.
No. So, kind of the history in a nutshell was back in 1999, the existing one of the previous city managers here, Brett, I can think of Brett's last name.
Towns?
Smith.
No, Brett Jones.
Jones.
Yeah, Brett Jones
Sorry,
was
not
the
sure.
acting city manager at that time, and we were currently building a hangar over at the airport. We officed in Edmond, Oklahoma for a number of years, and Brett had called me and said, "Are you familiar with the property?" And I said, "I've heard about it. I've never actually seen it. I've heard the legends about it." And he said, "Well, could you do us a favor?" At that time, we were doing a lot of development around the country, around the world, and he had asked, "There's something you guys could look at doing with it. We'd sure love for you to do something with it because the city is having to police it, and you had multiple elevator shafts and various people breaking in, and anyway,
That's a good time.
yeah. There's good times to be had, and so so that's what we did. We looked at it. Julie's father, Calvin Burgess, I called him, told him what Brett had said. I actually had advised him. I came up here on a Friday, looked at the property, advised Calvin to drive about 100 miles an hour down College, slightly glance and tell me no so we could get away from this deal. And then I got a phone call received a phone call on Sunday and said, "I think we should buy it. Let's do something with this." And so we took the next steps possible and acquired the property. And then it took us, we always had a vision. I think we always had a vision to move our corporate offices up here. And then Calvin obviously had the vision that he would like to utilize it as a personal home. And then the wedding business evolved from Julie. At that time was doing multiple wedding photography work and saw a need. And saw a need in this area in Oklahoma City Metroplex to be able to perform events. And we had the space, and it was also the ability for us to give a piece of the property back to the public, for people could at least interact with the building because there was so much interest. So it took us a year to kind of put all that together. It took us another 3 years to make it happen. And then in 2004, I say this all the time, in 2004 we had kind of a mid-year.
We opened with Guthrie Prom.
Yep, that's right, yeah, the notorious first Guthrie Prom. And we had kind of a mid-year then, and then in 2005 I kind of always expressed it was like drinking from a fire hose. I mean, we just had no idea the amount of interest and the level of interest in events and all the things that went along with it. And then we've been doing that, the event side, since really in earnest 04. And boy, it's gone well, and it's been a great deal. You know, we move what's on average weddings 100 and
probably 80 to 100.
yeah. So you figure an average wedding, 100 people an event, multiple events a year. We bring a lot of traffic through the community. It's a lot of buying gas and buying groceries and all those things. So it's we hope we're doing a small part, but we hope we're doing a bigger overall part too.
It's an amazing vision of, because it was pretty bad shape when he drove 100 miles down College. Because my wife says, "Paint. What do you think this green will look in this bedroom paint wise?" Like, I have no idea. So I can't envision that, much less what you guys have done to this place. It's amazing.
I didn't grow up here, but people that I know who I won't name have shown me pictures they taken back in the day, and they, whatever. But yeah, it was rough. Really rough.
We have a few of those photos.
Yeah, we do. We have plenty of them.
We came through and kind of took a set of photos before we started demoing and doing all of that. So the graffiti was insane.
Yeah.
There was a Reuben that was here.
Yeah, if anybody knows
Everywhere?
Reuben, or Big Mike.
Or Big Mike.
Yeah.
Yes, Big Mike was everywhere.
They were extremely, I say this all the time, they're extremely good at spelling their names and drawing anatomy.
Only imagine.
So when you guys first took over this building, this complex of buildings, like was there any place in particular here that you were like, we have to figure out how to save this or repurpose this?
I think really the ballroom was the most important.
Yeah.
And we weren't able to salvage a lot there except for like the terrazzo floor, our tile floors, that kind of stuff. And of course the windows were there, they just weren't intact, but like the look of the windows.
Yeah, I think part of the problem is through the years it had changed hands so many times and so many people had come in and come out and it had been vandalized and things had been removed from the property, and so really only the few things that were left were, if you'll see around some of the, in these areas here in the main house, a lot of the marble window sills were actually the large dividers in the bathrooms.
Oh, wow.
So we were actually able to reutilize that. A lot of the tile in the, well actually all the tile in the event side, in the, which is where the serving lines are and the kitchens, which were originally kitchens, those are all, that's all original tile that was left in place. All the original tile around the swimming pool is still in place. So there's elements of what used to be, but yet there was so much that there's so much that we had to recreate or just actually change altogether.
So when you opened, you had like the residence event hall, event center, and corporate headquarters. Kind of take us through the timeline of how that's kind of like shifted over the years into what you've got now.
Go ahead.
Basically, event center up until, let's see, when did you guys move back to the...
Yeah, I guess about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, 2 years ago, we decided, well, we have another project. The company as a whole has another project down in Texas, and Calvin and Susan, obviously being the principal, decided that they were better served to move down to Texas and run that operation. And so it kind of came to that point, which was like, well, where do you think we want to go with this? What do we want to do? And so that's where we just all kind of sat down and developed the idea that how cool would it be to have the ability, one, to open up the main house, that even though we had the event center open, a lot of folks still were always very curious about, well, what's inside, and so we're like, let's try to develop that, and then develop the idea of moving what was our existing office space into a boutique hotel, and so that was kind of the gist of it. And we really just kind of put our heads together and said, we really want to make Dominion House, when the Dominion House Boutique Hotel, we want to make it a place where you can come and land for a weekend, 3 or 4 days, whatever it may be, and really kind of give that resort feel and have a real experience, not just go stay at a hotel. I mean, anybody can go stay at a hotel, but we want it to be a hotel that you could and really enjoy yourself and really just relax, throw your feet up, and really truly have what, we don't joke. We kind of, our mantra is to have an experience. We want you to have an experience here.
And one of those experiences, kind of go back before the rooms that you have now, and then we'll get obviously to the great dining and all that experience now, was the wedding. I mean, it was the ballroom and the weddings, because you always saw all the beautiful pictures of inside and outside the courtyard, all that stuff. That was what, there was events and then there was weddings, and that was what really stood out to me. Obviously, we'll get to the other stuff here, but that was a big part of the experience.
That's been the main part so far. So, indoor weddings, outdoor weddings,
Yeah, and that truly is our core. I mean, that's our core, what we look to business-wise. I mean, that's what we're good at, what we know, and I probably keep repeating myself, but one of the things about weddings is it's a very detail-oriented business. And so we knew being able to spill over those details, because it is in the details. And going to a kind of that hotel scenario, we already know the detail business, and we knew all those little details that we could make the hotel side of it. really nice and really fun.
And those details are so important. Like when Aaron goes, action, I freeze up, but a wedding day, I can only imagine how important details,
The details are extremely
and
important.
professionalism and all that good stuff, because people look forward to that day as, you know, as the day, and the way you guys do it and have done it, it amazes me.
And the wedding industry in Oklahoma seems to have kind of like really exploded, right?
It has exploded, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're not in churches. A lot of them aren't in churches anymore.
Right, most of them have gotten away from the churches. And really, when we opened up, there were 19 venues. Now there's like over 150,
Yeah,
I
just
want to
in
say,
the metro
venues
area.
just in, you know, this area, you know, Oklahoma City, Norman.
And you said
So-
you're going to a wedding, it was a Saturday. Mm-hmm. But not anymore.
No.
Weddings are like just whenever people wanna
Monday,
get married.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My wife plays lots of weddings, and like all the time, she's like going to a wedding. I'm like, it's Tuesday.
I would have never known that.
Yeah.
So it's really all about them and what they want. You know, when do they want to get married? And sometimes the date holds a special meaning to them. And so they do want to get married on a Tuesday at this particular time or something like that. So
Cool. So with the hotel side of things, that opened up how long ago now?
So last May,
Yeah.
we just opened up for that. And then we've been open obviously since. So.
Yeah, so we originally opened up on the what used to be the office building, and we opened up those first 10 rooms. There's 5 rooms below, 5 rooms above, and then we just recently brought online 4 rooms here in the main house. So we have
About a month ago.
Yeah, about a month ago. So we have 14 rooms total. This main house has a huge, what we call the royal suite. It's enormous. And so there's that room that we brought on, which is great for bridal parties. It's enormous. Big. Just come check it out. You can rent it.
Yeah, these are not like just normal rooms.
Correct.
They're
Yes.
it's luxury. They're just fantastic. You kind of have to see the pictures of them. They're really, like us talking about it right now is kind of silly.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
you have to look at all the details, like from the light fixtures to the woodwork. It's all pretty mind numbing.
Well, and the thing is, we wanted to bring a level of kind of luxury, and I think, and again, we go back to that experience. We want the boutique hotel industry as a whole is the fastest growing segment of the hotel industry, and it's out there competing with B&Bs and all of these different things. And so for us, that industry makes rooms smaller, and they want to kind of push people out of the rooms to go do other things, and we just want the opposite. We wanted to have big rooms, big spacious bathrooms, because we want you to soak in the clawfoot tub. We want you to really enjoy being on site and being on premises and being part of the community. I mean, our biggest segment of we've talked about this before, but we had no idea that we would make such an impact in the Dallas Metroplex. It's been a huge draw for a customer base for us, which I would have never figured. And so it's been interesting, and they have kind of the same deal. It's such a great place to unwind, drop in the community, and it's been a good connection.
Very cool. Of course, now you slowly, you're getting busy and busier now. We're talking about opening on Thursdays. I probably say the dining, the food part of this new experience here at the Dominion House.
Right. Well, basically,
You weren't
yes,
busy enough.
We are, so let's just throw that in. So yes, right now we're open Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and then we do the Sunday brunch.
Yeah.
And yes, as we're getting along, and we talk about doing this, we really like baby steps in that we want to make sure that we do it right. I don't just want to open up and then we weren't ready for that. So we'll add days as we feel that we're ready to bring those on, and then we'll just do more and more. So.
How do you pick out the food items?
So we have a great chef that does that, and he comes from a great background of like a boutique hotel. That it's the same type of experience that we want. So
For us on the food selection, it's a great question. It's a situation where we really sit down, and it's same with drinks too, where we really have sat down and really kind of throw everything on the table. We've kind of mapped it out and just to determine what we think would work, what won't work, and then having a great chef obviously helps. I mean, because I can't cook my way out of a bag, but it's just in changing, and a lot of it is seasonal. This is this is a scratch kitchen. We do everything right on the plate. Our fish is less than 24 hours a day. I mean, we bring it in overnight, and so we want to create that I think for us, the biggest deal was we wanted to create a menu that was what I really call a clean menu, like really clean food and let it stand on its own and taste on its own. And I think that's what we've achieved. But it's changing. It's evolving every day. I think every day is a new experience about, hey, try this, hey, try that,
New specials,
And our chef, David, is, he's one of those guys that, and he takes a taste of something, he closes his eyes and you can just see his mind clicking, and I can't do that. I mean, I have no idea.
Now the pizza and steak are still on the menu, right?
Yes.
Now I highly recommend the pizza. The first time I came here was the pizza, and then the steak. The YMCA had our board director meeting here, dinner here, and I got my first steak here. Didn't even need a knife, on a fork, cut it perfect. It was great tasting steak. So. Compliments.
Yeah, we're getting ready to add more. We're adding more steaks on the menu and all of that. So.
And the cool thing with outside the food is you have the beautiful inside dining area, but now whether it's winter, summer, spring, fall, you have options outside as well.
Correct. Yep. We've just added the front patio seating, and then of course we had the igloo adventure. That was kind of fun over the winter, and we're working on our summer. Right? They were a huge hit. So we're working on our summer plans now. So.
And we like to keep it top secret.
Yes.
But just like the front porch, the porch area, which is like this grand, fantastic space, opening that up is just a really big deal.
Yeah, I think one of our things is, I think a lot of people may be, I shouldn't say a lot of people, I think some people may be intimidated that, because the facade of the building is pretty grand.
Yeah. Oh,
and, I think some people think, oh, well, that's just going to be too fancy for me, or this, that, and the other. And it's not. I mean, we have casual, we have kind of a main dining area that's a little bit more formal. We have this club room area if you want to just come in and have a drink. And then we have the actual, what we call the bistro area back here, which is very casual. And then the front porch, which is even more casual. So
I showed up in a tuxedo and he said, "No, you don't have to wear that." I said, "Oh, okay."
So it's show up in what come as you are, and it's not over the top. We've got something for everybody, from brick fired oven pizzas to a fillet.
Yeah.
So we're all over. I mean, we can take care of all of it.
Say the days and times again.
Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and then Sunday brunch. So we're open in the evening, Thursday evening from 5:30 until 10. Last seating's at 9:30. So
Cool. And brunch starts at what time?
it's 11 to 2:30.
Right on.
I want to go back to wedding because I get nervous for people like you who put on these weddings. Like you have a beautiful outside and it starts raining. You have a backup plan for inside.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
We have a chapel, and we have people that choose not to have it outside and they want it in the chapel anyway.
Right.
But the chapel is always set, so they can just go from. I mean, literally a moment's notice. We open the doors, they walk in, they get their seat, and then we can start again. So minimal downtime. So.
And before we arrived and took up your afternoon, you were actually out there.
I was
getting
planting flowers.
planting flowers.
Yes.
Time of year.
There's so many great backdrops before and after wedding shots that you see here. And it's just awesome.
Well, yeah, and the flower side is, that seems silly, but it's this time of year is crazy for us. Kind of the 15th of April, tax day, is for everybody else, and we're looking at flower day. So, and we're super fortunate to have red dirt plants here locally. Those guys, Tara and Jesse and Gail, are just awesome folks, and we're so happy, so fortunate that they're literally in our backyard. And so, we just haul load after load after tractor of plants up here every season. So
Well, if you walk around this place and look at all the different landscaping features, it's intense how much area you guys got, square footage wise, of just flower beds all over the place.
and we have a few.
Yeah. All right, so I know you said some things are secret, but is the bocce ball court a secret? I just said
Well,
bocce
you just
No,
said
it's
it. You just
not.
said it.
Okay, good. Let's talk about it.
We won't tell anybody. It's between us.
When I pulled it up, I saw what you guys have done with the bocce ball courts, and it's serious.
Yeah,
Yes.
serious.
It's going to be awesome.
Like the American
It's on.
Federation of Bocce Ball
Yeah.
is going to be all about this because that exists.
Yeah.
That's the thing that's...
It is.
Go
It does
ahead.
exist. Well, Noah, you go ahead.
No, yeah, I'm going to.
You go ahead, Justin.
Bocce ball.
So yes,
yeah.
okay.
Justin, tell us all about our
going to have
bocce ball.
Yes, the courts are almost done. We'll have 2 bocce ball courts, and they're club level size. And so we do hope to have some tournaments at some point and just do some fun
It's not like-
community type stuff.
Yeah, and you guys didn't just like throw out some like landscaping timbers and
No.
put some sand in it.
No.
It's not a litter box.
No.
It's like bricked edges, and it's
Cast on
Cast on
top. It looks
top.
really nice because we wanted it to fit in. We wanted it to have the same feel there as it, as the house does.
We're
so.
getting ready to install all the lighting down there, so we'll have all hanging like LED Edison bulb lighting down there. It's going to be pretty neat.
Yeah.
Okay, you don't know what bocce ball
I'll
is.
be that guy. What is
I'll let you
bocce?
explain bocce ball.
What is it?
So essentially, it's an old European game started in Italy, but it's kind of, if you can imagine the idea of playing shuffleboard with a ball, and you're trying to get it close. You have a small ball. I can't even remember the name of it.
just make it up.
Yeah, it's a small ball name. You throw
Started off strong with association.
I can't think of the name right.
I was gonna say
escapes
something
me.
from like Harry Potter Quidditch. It's like the little what's the Quidditch?
Yeah, no. Anyway,
Where's
you
your
throw that
show
ball out,
notes?
it's got to cross halfway midcourt, and then you throw the larger balls. There's 2 colors, obviously, and you're trying to get closest to the ball.
Okay.
The small ball. And that's how you score off of that. And so I'm probably horrifying multiple bocce ball users at this very moment, but yeah. So that's the idea.
You've offended the ball.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you're saying we probably won't overtake the wedding venue?
I don't think it's
No.
going to overtake the wedding venue, but so it's a lot of fun. It's typically associated with drinking wine, so I'm sure there'll be a little bit of that going on. But
starting to come around
On the
now.
photography side of things, they're always looking for like the new like wedding photo op kind of thing.
And that's very true. Yes.
The bride and groom are going to be over there at the bocce ball court like every single time. So,
Yeah, and we even because we do, sometimes obviously wedding parties stay here. So now, like groomsmen could go down and play. If they're here the night before, then go down and play bocce ball, or sit out on the front porch, or do anything like that. So,
Who's come the furthest for a wedding?
probably Brazil.
yeah, probably Brazil.
Yeah.
That's our longest one.
Yeah.
And the funny part on the hotel side, speaking about it, we've actually had a lot of folks that are
Yes.
flying from Europe that are doing Route 66, and so they found us through the course of their stuff, and they've been staying with us on the Route 66 drive.
Small world.
It
So-
is.
right?
So we have from Germany, England,
England, Switzerland.
Switzerland. Yeah. So it's been interesting even on the hotel side.
So not El Reno where you call it.
But you know what? In the hotel, really though, we have had Edmond, Oklahoma
Yeah,
City,
yeah.
Stillwater,
Imagine.
Yukon, just as a getaway.
Yeah, just a great weekend
just something
getaway.
different.
Like you mentioned that like the sport of bocce ball traditionally involves possibly alcohol.
Yes.
Hanging out. So let's talk about alcohol. Let's
Yes.
talk booze.
Purple Rain.
So like,
Chris went right to it.
so talk to us about your cocktails here.
You know more about that because you're in there helping. So
Yeah, so if you don't see me working in my corporate job on the weekends, you'll see me slinging bar here with Melissa Jensen, who's our primary bartender. I'm just the bar back apparently, but yeah. So all of our drinks are craft cocktails. It's all fresh. We do everything fresh. We've got a whole list of great drinks on the menu. And that's changing all the time too. We dream something up, or we see something and think, hey, let's try to modify this or that, and bring it to the table. And we've done. I think a lot of people have seen our video of our smoking old fashioned, which is a really clever way to do it. And so if you haven't and you like an old fashioned, try ours. It's awfully good.
Yeah.
Chris is liking the purple
Yes,
rain.
it's
It's a
great.
great drink. So everything we take a lot of pride in it, and each one's made with love. You get to taste that when you have it, but that's been a lot of fun too, being able just to come up with some fun, crazy things and kind of bring a little lighter side to the menu. And we've got the Mary Poppins, and so if you haven't had that, try that. That's a great drink.
that's a good drink.
We kind of have our little spin on Pop Rocks with it, and so there's just crafty ideas and just generating them, and we've done some seasonal sangrias, which were a big hit
For Christmas time.
For Christmas time, we had our 602 sangria. And so we're constantly modifying that. We do that based on seasonal fruits and this, that, and the other. So
I think really we just want to have fun.
Yeah.
I think we just want to have fun drinks, and I mean
Yeah.
it's just fun to play around and put them together, and we like it, we don't, this makes the menu, this doesn't make the menu.
yeah, and
So-
it's actually customer driven. If we don't see people are like, I don't.
Hey, Justin, hit him up for hit the bricks drink.
Hit the bricks drink. Yeah, let's
we
come up with
We
something.
should come up with something.
Yeah.
Right on. Good thinking. You're officially the marketing person now. So for the
Are
folks,
you selling ad spots or?
Why?
if you want to,
Yeah.
so for folks who aren't, into the cocktail into things, what else like wine?
So
and,
we can do wine, and we can also do everything in a mocktail too. Not
Okay.
all of the drinks can be mocktails, but we can also cater to people that want, like the blackberry smash
Yep.
is phenomenal as a non-alcoholic. In fact, I think that's my kid's favorite.
Yeah.
So,
So if our kids look like they're drinking, they're not.
they're not. No.
The Sprite's really good too. It's on the rocks.
best Sprite.
And then really,
Tri-County area.
I was gonna say for wines, we're just collecting and getting new wines. We're trying to go with wines that are more like small batch wines, that are a little bit different than just your average wines.
And we just brought on last week. We're bringing on some draft beers as well.
Oh, cool.
So we're trying to keep everything fairly local. So we're using local craft beers. In case we've got Velvet Antler on draft now, Stilly Wheat, both of Iron Monk out of Stillwater. We just brought Everything Rhymes with Orange, which is, I can't remember who those
One of
guys
the
are.
best beers in the state.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
awesome.
Rough Tail.
Yeah,
Rough
Rough
Tail,
Tail,
yes,
that's right.
yeah.
And then we do have Michelob Ultra. That's not really local, but we'll call it local for us. It's always a big seller, and all those people trying to lose weight. So anyway, it's we want to bring. We've got the ability to run 8 drafts. I think we're currently just running 4 drafts right now, but we have multiple local beers on either can or now a draft. So
The Iron Monk guys, they're Stillwater. So
They're in Stillwater.
practically
Yeah. They're backyard.
local- Yeah. Now we just need a Guthrie brewery. So
Oh.
you guys can serve Guthrie.
Well,
He
maybe
brings
one
up
day.
Guthrie Brewery every day.
That's my life goal.
To have a Guthrie
until it
brewery.
happens.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But you guys do so much, but it looks like you guys are having fun with it too. I mean, you're just adding more and more to what you guys do here and having fun with it.
We call it fun, right?
I'm sure it has its moments. It has its
This is
moments.
fun. No kidding.
no, I think that is you're exactly
Because you make
right.
people happy, and it's very
That's the most
rewarding. I would
important
think.
thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the hotel side of it, and the hotel and event side and all of it coming together has been a ton of fun just to get to meet people.
Yeah.
I think I don't have to work up here on the weekend, but I do because I love the social interaction
Yeah.
and just especially when people say, "Wow, I had no idea this was here," or "Wow, I had no idea Guthrie had this in the community," and "Wow, we really love the town," and they just go on and on and on. And so that part is the really fun part.
Well, and I think that the eating experience has really changed it here because a lot of people drive by and see this big building, but they never, they might not have an event or they might be married for 20 years, and they always see this big, beautiful building, and they might see some stuff on social media. But now, I think with the dining experience, it allows people to come in and actually see the entire event. Obviously, talking about more like the Guthrie people here.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's true. I mean, that was one of the primary things we thought about when we looked at what are we going to do, and we wanted people to experience the property as it is.
Absolutely.
I mean, because it has got a long history within the community, and now people can enjoy it, and we want them to enjoy it. That's the biggest, and it is the fun part. I have to admit, it's there's other days we stare at the ceiling and worry, but those days are those are the days we have fun.
Yeah.
And you guys are like really, really community minded as well. Like there have been so many community events that I've come to here, like whether it's
Correct.
chamber banquet or you name it, banquet that's been on this place, and so many meaningful moments that this community has had have been here with you guys, and so the fact that you guys have been able to host like all those things over the years, it's been pretty cool to watch that. Like people get together, the Guthrie folks, and have those memories that are shaped by this place. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and we're lucky to have those folks, and to be able to experience it with them and to be able to do things in conjunction with them. I think, this is a team effort. If we're not promoting each other within around this community, then we're not doing our jobs. I think as business owners and as friends, to be honest with you, I think, there's multiple times that we send business other places when we can't handle certain items. We don't send them to Edmond, we send them locally. And so, I'm sure all the Edmond folks will cringe, but but that's where we
They're
we
tough.
want to keep it within our realm here,
Yeah.
and so that's important. Other businesses are important to us as well because we need each other. We really do. We need the business relationships around the town and the community. So
And I think ultimately it's just important to get people to come together.
Yeah.
We're so close to Edmond, to Oklahoma City. It's just letting everybody know it's not much farther north. It's right here. So
Oh, for sure.
and,
Yeah.
and that's our number one job. I mean, I think we talk about it all the time. This is our number one purpose right now is to convince people that it's okay in the Edmond, Northwest Oklahoma City area to hop in your car and drive 20 minutes north. And you don't have to go 20 minutes south and still have a wonderful experience. And we're seeing that, to be quite honest with you. We're seeing a lot of that draw. We're seeing
It's
a lot
literally the same distance for a lot of the Edmond folks to drive to here as it is to drive to, the Skirvin or someplace down in Oklahoma City.
yeah. And I
and the
think
traffic is a lot better.
That's why I was going to say the traffic is huge.
But I think that's just not us. That's community based too.
Correct, yes.
That's in association with Red Brick Nights happening. That's in association with the various functions that happen around town. People are drawing in, and we're seeing that. We'd love to draw thousands or more in every morning and every day, but we are seeing it happen, and so it's to be a part of something like that's exciting.
You guys literally are part of the community. I'm looking out the window right now, looking at the neighborhood in front of us.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool that this is a luxury resort, but you're still part of the neighborhood and part of the community too, which is a pretty unique setting, I think.
Hello,
Yeah.
Mr. Smith.
Hey, Sam. Yeah. Sam and the rest of the squad over there. Yeah, and that's one thing that I keep talking, but
No, you just talked. You're good.
there's a great. I grew up. We were talking about this in Spindletop in Kentucky. Jess and I have a Kentucky connection.
We're hillbillies.
Yeah, we are. So, but there's a place outside of Lexington, Kentucky called Spindletop, and it's owned by the University of Kentucky, and it's very similar to this facility. And it was donated to the university, and if you're a graduate of University of Kentucky, you basically become a member of Spindletop. You pay your dues, and it's how they build money for their foundation. And but on Friday nights, Saturday nights, people drive in from Lexington. It's about 20-minute drive out to Spindletop. It's very similar to Oklahoma City, Edmond area. And that's where you go. And it has this really cool Southern charm vibe. You go out, have dinner and drinks, and it's family oriented, and people are connecting, and it's really neighborhood driven. I mean, it's just a really cool vibe. And I've always envisioned that we'll be at that point where that front porch will be loaded, families meeting, neighbors coming down. We started opening up the front gate on Thursday, Friday, Saturday nights, and we've got neighbors walking down to come have dinner.
Yeah.
There's nothing cooler than that. So it's kind of like our own block party
That's awesome.
every weekend.
This Saturday is Easter. You got Easter brunch.
On Sunday?
Sunday, yeah,
we've
Easter's
got-
on Sunday.
Saturday.
I didn't know if we were still.
Oh,
I didn't know if we were still on Kentucky stories or what was going on. And cut.
We had this conversation last episode. Don't let me talk about church.
Purple Rain. What was the other one? we were talking about?
Obviously, Justin's been in the bar.
Easter is on Sunday.
It is on Sunday, yes. We just
Easter
opened up for
brunch is
Easter
on
brunch,
Sunday,
yes.
yeah.
And we actually just launched that
So started our
yesterday.
weekend.
Yeah. So yes, we'll be open for Easter brunch.
Right
So
on.
yeah, and then we'll do a Mother's Day brunch too. So
Cool. Which is in September.
Sometime in August.
Yeah, one of those months. Hey, thanks so much for having us here today.
Yeah. Well,
absolutely.
thanks for promoting us and doing all the things you do and letting us get our story out.
Yeah, I can't wait to hit the bricks.
Yeah, you want to hit the bricks string. Yeah.
That'd be cool. Can't wait. Next week, probably.
We'll have to work on it.
And then we'll have some fun things too.
Yeah.
Other things that we're planning on coming up over the summer. So, but we'll release those as we get a little
Yeah.
bit closer. We're gonna have to keep the little things,
absolutely.
secret.
All right, we're going to take a real quick break and then come back. We've got an interview with Joel Mosman, singer-songwriter extraordinaire from Guthrie, and he stopped by the Hit the Bricks headquarters on Monday and talk with us for a few minutes and play us a song. We'll come back with him here in just a few minutes.
Coming home, coming home, coming home. Coming home, coming home, coming home.
Joel,
Hey, Justin.
thanks for being here today.
It's great to be here in the Department of Tourism.
Yeah, thanks for stopping by the Hit Your Bricks headquarters.
Hit the bricks.
Yep.
I always thought that watching the other podcasts, I thought that this was some sort of vinyl record. And I'm realizing that it's not, folks. It's just styrofoam.
Dude,
But it is a beautiful piece of styrofoam.
so I'm going to have to write that down. We need a Hit Your Bricks vinyl record compilation, so that's on my to-do list now.
Podcast on vinyl. We might be onto something here.
Well, you can find like in old like public libraries. They used to have when I was a kid. You could go to the public library and check out like vinyl records. And I remember like you could listen to like speeches and things.
Yeah.
Like super like low key like boring stuff. You could check it out at the library and listen to it.
There were some good comedy albums, too. I'm trying to think of this one we had when I was a kid. This guy was joking around about a rooster or something, and I listened to it several times. Somebody would probably know, and maybe they could tell us.
Listening to comedy albums is a lost art.
It is.
Yeah.
It totally is.
I remember like who was like Bobcat Goldthwait and Richard Pryor and those guys. They had like
Oh, yeah.
comedy albums that you would sit there and like you put the tape in your car and listen to it and stuff.
I think of Red Skeleton for some reason, and Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah.
Because it just vinyl and Red Skeleton, I don't know.
Right.
Just together, I think.
So what's new in your musical world?
Well, I was just thinking about this when I came in. I was like, what do I have going on musically? I know I have several projects, and I know that he's going to ask me about this, and I know that I'm going to draw a blank. So I was trying to prepare when I came in here. I got some shows coming up. Playing Norman Music Fest next week on Thursday at 7 o'clock at the Blue Bonnet. That's going to be a lot of fun. I always like going to Norman Music Fest. This will be our 4th year playing Norman Music Fest, I believe.
Those Blue Bonnet shows are fun.
Oh yeah, man. They have that tiny, like, it's like a tiny like catty corner stage, and depending on how many other musicians I bring with me, sometimes like we spill off of the stage and kind of like down in the crowd, which is super cool. I mean, it makes for a cozy, intimate evening.
So they can kick off their Norman Music Festival experience with you guys.
Basically, yeah, because that starts out Thursday, and we're looking forward to that. And we got another couple of shows coming up: Bedlam Barbecue, and
The patio there.
yes, that's one of
Pretty
my
sweet
favorite.
patio.
One of my favorite non-Guthrie places to play. And then we got a few other ones coming up. We're working on a Ritz Theater gig in Shawnee. Let me say something a little bit about Shawnee. I was born and raised in Shawnee. I'm going to go public with this. Guthrie's my home, and I consider it to be my home. I was born and raised in Shawnee. When I was growing up, the downtown area there had been pretty run down. Like, I went down there when I was 8 years old, and there was a thrift shop. I was 8. I rode my bicycle down there, and
Free range children.
yes, and I bought from this booth in the thrift shop a blow dart gun and a Bowie knife. No joke.
You can go far with both of those things as a
Yes,
child.
and I did, and I don't think I got in too much trouble. I was relatively well behaved. No, that's not true at all.
You were destined to be a musician.
Yes,
That was
yeah.
your first. That's
When
the
I was
first
8
logical
years
step
old.
to becoming a professional musician is a Bowie knife, a blow dart. The slingshot is like the third
That's
part
true.
of that.
That's a
triumvirate.
staple.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what kind of tangent did I just get off on? So, okay. Shawnee, it was pretty dilapidated down there. I moved to Oklahoma City, and then I've been in Guthrie for about 10 years now, and I consider Guthrie like we value our culture and history so much here. You know, it's deeply valued here, and I considered that for a long time to be a polar opposite of what Shawnee is. I feel like I'm going to get in some deep trouble with somebody right now talking about this.
Shawnee's podcast is going to hate me.
I know, but I don't think they have a podcast, and that's kind of the point that I'm making here. is that Shawnee has since in the past several years really. I kind of think they're trying to be like Guthrie more.
They stole our city planner, Rebecca. Who
They did?
Yeah, like she took a job down there.
How dare
We have a
they?
brand new city planner now. He's awesome.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Rebecca's awesome too.
Right.
But,
Yeah.
But Shawnee did steal her.
Yeah. That's wow. That's very interesting. But they've come up a lot. I think that they're trying to be more like Guthrie. So they've renovated their downtown and stuff, and the Ritz Theater. Told you that to tell you this. The Ritz Theater.
You're going to land this story now.
Is being yes, this is it. After all these miles, the Ritz Theater has been renovated, and we're gonna do a show down there.
Heck
So yeah,
Speaking of renovations, the Carnegie Library here in town
Yes.
has done like elaborate renovations there for this like kind of iconic historic structure in Oklahoma. They spent so much money and time and effort to making that building whatever you do to historic. Like, they preserved it. Yeah, that's the
Yes.
word I was looking for. And so a few weeks ago, we had an entire day of recording music there at the Carnegie Library.
did.
So you played and a bunch of other Guthrie musicians. It was really a pretty cool day.
that was definitely a day for the books. That was one I'm always gonna remember. One of my biggest musical goals is, and I told my band this also, and they're kind of on the same page, is just to make good music at cool venues. And I don't have a goal to play shows 5 nights a week and like do all this crazy stuff. I just want to play cool shows at cool venues, and I've been afforded that chance, especially for the Carnegie project that we worked on. That was amazing because this big, beautiful library, and I'd been in there before, and it always kind of been in the back of my mind, like, it'd be cool to sing some tunes in here, and it was a wonderful experience just to get together with all of our Guthrie people, and in a Guthrie building that sounded so beautiful, and we got to have access to that little area back there that we weren't supposed, or that people aren't supposed to go into, but they let us do it.
Right.
That was nice.
They just turned a blind eye to our
They did.
shenanigans.
Yeah, they did. But I'm anxious to hear what those masters are going to sound like. So.
Yes, that stuff's being mixed and will be available to people to purchase like later on this year.
What was the name that we decided on?
The Library Hours?
The Library Hours.
Yeah.
That's going to be awesome, man.
Yeah, so
Be on the lookout for that.
it'll be available sometime, someday.
Who all played on it? You played on it with Amanda,
Yeah.
and I played on it. And Chelsea Cope sang with me. Chelsea did a song.
Byron Berline.
Byron Berline played
Yeah.
on it. He did a fiddle tune, right? I
Yep.
wasn't there for that one.
Yeah.
And imagine that, him doing a fiddle tune.
Right. Pretty unique stuff.
And we got, I don't want to miss anybody.
Keith Lee.
Keith Lee,
Yeah. Jeremy and Holly Hall. So Welcome Little Stranger.
Gabe Hancock
Yep.
was on it.
Um,
And
Braden Russell.
Braden Russell was on it too. That's
Yeah.
right.
This is where we forget somebody. And we're horrible.
Ryan
for doing this.
Evangeline.
Yes, Ryan Evangeline played. Yep. God, they were super dreamy.
They were,
Yeah.
oh my goodness. Yeah, after we got done playing, we just like hung out for a little while just to listen to everybody. I feel like my music can be a little more in your face, but some of my friends' music here in town, they just have this really like dreamy, beautiful feel that goes really well. I don't consider myself to be a vocalist, But there's so many of our friends that I think are like Ryan Evangeline.
Yeah, people
when
like fall in love to their music, which is super trippy. Like, no one's ever gonna
exactly.
fall in love to my music.
No, me either. No, they might have some other serious emotions, but yeah, I mean, just listen to Ryan Evangeline, like just that sound echo off of the walls. Like it's the kind of thing where you just like sit there and close your eyes and you just want to take in like every ounce of it. And with Steve Bose at the helm of that, engineering that project, I've seen or I've heard what he's capable of doing sonically, and I just know that he fully captured that feel of what went on in the Carnegie Library that day. And I'm super excited to hear it, and I hope everyone else is too.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
So you're gonna play a song for us today.
Yeah, I'll play a song, and I haven't decided on which one yet.
You got like 5 seconds to decide.
Okay, all right. You want me to pick it up?
Yeah, sure. So what song did you play there at the Carnegie?
I played a song called Room for a Rambler.
Oh yeah.
And actually, before I play it here, let me give a little shout out. Another musical project that I'm working on is an album. It's going to be called Common Ground. Actually, I think I'll play that. So I'll play the title track off of our album. After I leave here, I'm going up to Ark City, Kansas, my drummer's house, and we're going to do a little bit more work on the album. And this is our first full-length album, and it's going to be out on vinyl. I'm not going to say when, because I learned my lesson about that kind of thing.
Those deadlines never work.
No. It could be tomorrow. It could be next year. It could be the year after that. But it will come out eventually.
Recording projects are kind of like construction projects. You have like a best case scenario that just never happens. Right?
Yeah, exactly. We're in like a perpetual state of recording too, and I'm writing songs faster than we can record them. So we're just trying to get them out as fast as we can, but without cutting any corners though.
Sure.
Okay, I think I'll do Common Ground. I like this song because it addresses some of the cultural climate that we're kind of knee deep in nowadays. And I think it's important to note that we all have some common denominators that we should focus on as a society. Brand new suit and wore out jeans, barely got nothing in between. Money burning holes in my pocket, nothing but the bank can make me stop it. Been a couple weeks and a couple days since I last slept for 8 hours straight. If I try to think about next week, then today will get the best of me. We're all navigating somewhere in between. When dividing lines are written down, let's try to find a peace, a common ground. Yeah, a solid peace, a common ground. One of these days I'm gonna get away. Maybe I can get my head straight, 'cause getting by ain't good enough. Don't need much, just a little bit of luck. People say that it's the way things go, but I believe in something more. The good, the bad, the in-between. It's all the same to you and me. Yesterday and destiny, we're all navigating somewhere in between. When dividing lines are written down, let's try to find a peace, a common ground. Yeah, a solid peace, a common ground. No use turning anyone away. Everybody's equally as strange. You do you and might do me, but what about the commonalities? We're all pawns in someone's game. We're all ending up the same. Party lines and points of view, sunshine and skies of blue. Yesterday and destiny, we're all navigating somewhere in between. When dividing lines are written down, let's try to find a piece, common ground. Yeah, a solid piece, a common ground. Yesterday and destiny, we're all navigating somewhere in between. When divine lines are written down, you got to find a piece, a common ground. Yeah, a solid piece, a common ground. Common ground.
Great song, man.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks for stopping by. Hit the Bricks.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
absolutely my pleasure to be here.
Right on. So catch Joel and his band Thursday night at, not this Thursday, next Thursday. Is that right?
That's right, yeah.
Yes.
My band's name Oklahoma Uprising, and we'll be next Thursday night at Norman Music Fest at the Blue Bonnet, 7 o'clock, and we'll be around a whole bunch of other places after that, too.
Right on. Thanks, Joel.
Yeah, thanks, Justin.
And that was our good friend Joel T.
Joel T.
Joel T.
Yeah, thanks, Joel T.
I saw him. Was he running downtown in his boots?
I've heard overalls and boots is what he runs in normally.
Yeah.
Every day.
Only in Guthrie.
Yeah.
On the bricks. Hit the bricks.
All right, so this is 89er week.
Anything going on?
Corn dogs, funnel cakes. You can hit the carnival starting tonight and every night this week, and then mostly on Saturday.
And the cool thing about it is we might get some sprinkles. The weather guys are saying this and that, but I think most of it's going to stay to the north and some to the south. We might get a little bit rained on, but that's on Wednesday. But Thursday, Friday, Saturday looks picture perfect. 80 degrees, sunny.
Yep, people are going to spend so much money on Saturday.
Oh, it's gonna be-
carnival and vendors and parade is Saturday.
High noon.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, there's going to be thousands and thousands in the street, and we deserve a good day after last year's little rain fest.
We
still.
deserve it. Yes. And you and our producer Aaron will be downtown Saturday, right?
Yeah, we're going to stream it live. We're going to do that on Guthrie News page, YouTube, for the folks, because there's a lot of people that grew up in Guthrie, from Guthrie, but can't be here or don't live here anymore, and get to watch that. And the replay is always big on any of these things that we do here. So also GTV 20 will have it. So it's going to be a fun day.
Yeah, you can watch the Longhorns traipse through downtown Oklahoma, or Guthrie, almost Oklahoma City.
I love the children, but my video equipment's going to be kind of close too. Not that that's gone through my mind 3 or 4 times of roaming Longhorns in the middle of the streets.
Put some concrete barriers between you and the...
It's something. But and Sooner Schooner is going to be here, and last word is the governor and lieutenant governor are still scheduled to be here. You never know what happens, but
you never know. They're important people.
Yeah, they're going to walk through that. So again, I went by the vendors this morning, all the food trucks and all them start popping up. You can already start to smell it, and I've already got a barbecue invite from one of my friends with the shop there. So not only the food, but crafts and a whole bunch of good stuff.
Oh yeah, you can buy all kinds of stuff. And there's even a Euro truck this year. If you want
Yeah.
Euros, those
Yeah.
are tasty. So,
Of course, all the stuff that we went over in last week's show, the geezers and gassers, the car show, stuff for the kids, stuff for adults. It's another fun week in Guthrie.
just wander around town, you'll find something to do
Yeah,
all week
absolutely.
long.
And
Yeah.
walk, a lot of stuff in walking distance too. That's the cool thing about all these events. You can go from block to block to block, and there's usually something there.
Heck yeah.
And the carnival is like out your front window now
Yeah.
at City Hall.
Yep. 3rd floor window, I can just see it.
To
The
watch
Ferris wheel.
Ferris wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So I appreciate them making that my view for the week.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah.
Next week, Hetty Coleman's going to join us.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Go in.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Red Brick Nights next week.
Oh, it is starting off May, right around the corner.
May 4th, yeah. So we'll chat with Hetty about that next week. And yeah, looking forward to more of this lovely spring weather as we sit here at the Grand Dominion House.
Ain't this something? You would never. Here in Guthrie too. It's so cool how Trey and Julie have the vision. I mean, this used to be a place where kids got in trouble because it was old, abandoned. There was an old swimming pool that was sunk in. The windows were knocked out.
All right, so now that Trey and Julie are gone, I have a story real quick. When my wife and I first moved here, and it might have even been before that. I think I was visiting here one time, back before they bought this place. I'm pretty sure I'm not making this up, but I remember driving past like the old like abandoned orphanage building we're in right now, and I swear I remember driving past and seeing a herd of goats in the front yard here.
Not ghost.
Goats.
Okay.
Yeah, like almost sheep, but not quite sheep. Goats.
I wouldn't put it past
And
it.
it was super weird. And like I've told this story to a bunch of people over the years, and they're like, no, there was never a herd of goats hanging
Yeah.
out at the old orphanage. But I swear I saw it.
Well, I literally lived in a house growing up 2 blocks from here. I never saw goats, but
Okay, it was real, man. I saw the goats.
I've heard plenty of ghost stories.
Yeah.
In children's home and all this stuff. But that's fairy tales. That's like TV stuff.
Ghosts aren't real.
Not podcast stuff.
All right,
Yeah.
All right.
So
man. Let's hang out again a week from now.
yeah, let's do it
All
Wednesday.
right, cool. All right, thanks for joining us.
Coming home,